Yeah, professional students, you are welcome to another subsection under capital budgeting. Now, we want to look at the capital rationing. And when we are talking of capital rationing, what we really mean is that this concept is a process or method applied to select and allocate a combination of project means in a manner which the shareholders' wealth may be applied properly in order to achieve more with the little capital available. What I'm trying to say is that capital budgeting is a process or method applied to select and allocate combination of a project means in the manner which the shareholders' wealth with limited initial investment amount available investment in several projects, other condition could be achieved. If that is the case, remember under the previous lecture we had, we talk about MPV, and MPV that is positive means that the project is worthwhile, and one that is negative indicate that the product is unworthwhile, and it's only worthwhile products need to be embarked or accept, and unworthwhile project will be rejected. Now, if that is the case, there are a lot of projects that will have positive MPV, but the finance of the business might not be able to take all the opportunities that have positive MPV. What is left for the company or left the company is to decide which of these projects with the positive MPV will add more value to the wealth of shareholders, and that is where the management or manager is supposed to invest the shareholders' money in order to get more value. And it is capital rationing process that we use in selecting those projects that gives maximum value to the shareholders' wealth. Now, let's look at the example. I think the example you understand this we are seeing better. Let us take an example to understand this concept better. Suppose there's a company named Yuva Construction Limited. So Yuva Construction Limited is engaged in the business of construction of building and residential, commercial purpose. That is building for residential and commercial purposes. Now, it has secured a required preliminary permission and approval from the state government for construction of 3 projects, A, B, and C. Yuva Company Limited or Construction Limited has a total budget of 10 billion naira, and project A, B, C D expected to yield the total value, that is present value, of 7 billion, 8 billion, and 6 billion respectively. What we are saying is project A will yield 7 billion present value, project B will yield 8 billion present value, and project C will yield 7 billion present value respectively. Now, the initial requirement, that is initial outlay, capital outlay of project A is 5 billion, project B is 6 billion, and project C is 5 billion respectively. Let me come again. I said project A has present value of 7 billion, project B 8 billion present value, and project C is 6 billion present value. Let's make a correction here. It's 6 billion. And there are cash flow or initial outlay. Project A 5 billion, project B 6 billion, project C 5 billion naira respectively. The question now says apply capital rationing and find the better combination. How much is the company? Company is having 10 billion, and the 3 projects will go up 16 billion. Now let's find NPF, net present value first. Net present value of A is 2 billion. For B is also 2 billion. For C is 1 billion. But before we go on this, there is need to calculate profitability index. Remember when we are treating profitability index? Fine. Profitability formula is present value all over initial outlay. So present value all over initial outlay for project B, that is profitability index for project A, that is 7 divided by 5. That is 7 divided by 5. 7 billion divided by 5 billion. That one gives you what? 1.4. For project A is 1.4. Project B, that is 8 divided by 6 billion. That is 1.33. And the last project, that is 6 billion divided by outlay of 5 billion. That is 1.2. So if you want to do ranking, the projects are simple ranking itself. So ranking, do this one, that is what? 5 billion. And also 6 billion is required for this, but your 6 billion, you don't have 6 billion left, you have only 5 billion. So it means that it depends on the type of project. Let me just make clarification here. If the project is feasible or non-feasible, that is what we determine how we treat this. I'm trying to say, if the project is feasible, the feasible project means that you can do part of the project. So it means if the project requires 6 billion and you have 6 billion and you have 5 billion, what is 5 divided by 6? That is 8.33%. 5 by, sorry, you have 5 billion, Abby. I want to do 6. It is 8.33, or let's say 3.33%. It means that you can do 83.33% of project B in order to exhaust your 10 billion. But if the project is not feasible, I say if the project is feasible, you can do part of project B because it's one that gives the next highest profitability index. So you just do 83% because your 5 billion that remain out of 6 billion you want, it is 83.33% that is left behind. You can do 83.6% and complete your project. But if the project is not feasible, it means you have to abandon project B, despite being with the highest profitability index, and go for project C. So you do project A and C. But if it is feasible, you do project A and project B at rate of 83.3%. That is how capital rationing works. Let me better explain it this way. You see, this is what I'm trying to say. Now you have 10 billion. In order to maximize the worth of the shareholders, you accept the project in the manner of their profitability, and accordingly you have to find out the expected rate of return of all the projects and rank them accordingly using profitability index. Look at it. This is how it is. Remember, I said something the other day that you can calculate your profitability index using present value all over initial outlay, or you can use it NPV all over initial outlay. So here it is NPV that was applied. So see the NPV of one. Look at my illustration here. Look at the net present value. Net present value of project A 2, project B 2, project C 1. So the same thing that was done here. So the present value is this. Our ranking is the same. So Now, based on the ranking, you must select project A and B as they have the highest probability. However, the initial outlay will be required if it is to choose project A and B will exceed the available funding. That is, it will require 11 billion. So I said that as compared to 10 billion you have. In a situation, it is to discard one project and move to the next project. As a result of this, Yuva consultant company, we have the option to go ahead with project A and C, and it will maintain an investment well within the available capital of 10 billion and have to forgo project B. But as I said, if the project is the feasible project, we accept project A and 83.33% of project B because they are the two that offer you the highest profitability. So that's on that. Let's look at the types of capital rationing we have. We have hard capital rationing and we have soft capital rationing. So hard capital rationing means that the additional capital infused or infusion or any restriction on the use of existing investment funding is limited by the force that is outside the business or that is from the external source. If there are restrictions that come from external power, external forces, that is hard capital rationing. But soft capital rationing refers to the decision to use the capital funding for various projects in account of restrictions imposed by management and the decision. If the management that decide that this is how we want to do, that is internal capital rationing, and they can change their mind anytime, any day. But for hard one, they can't change their time. You have to go by the rules or by the environment that govern the business. So that is on that. Now, what are the assumptions of capital rationing? Let's look at the assumptions. There are certain assumptions. This is a concept. When I'm talking of assumptions, the first assumption is that the primary assumption made it clear. Let me start again. I said that the primary assumption made is that there's a restriction imposed either through internal forces or external forces on the use of capital funding. So anytime you are thinking or talking about capital rationing, you must think of the restriction. That is one. Two, the other assumption followed here is that there are several projects to be undertaken by the company or investor, and that selecting certain projects will help to optimize or in optimizing the return for the investment made. That's another assumption. First assumption is that there is a restriction. Second one is that there are a lot of projects to be undertaken by the investor, but the capital is not enough. And that's the third assumption. So the concept of capital rationing is based on the assumption that the expected rate of return of proposed projects to be undertaken shall be achieved as expected, thus ignoring factors such as economic, politics, policies, and such. That's it. Now, let me add this assumption as well. Another assumption of capital rationing is that fund is limited fund. That's the last one which is supposed to be added. So that's about the assumption. Let's look at the causes. What causes it? One, increased cost of capital. That is one. For higher capital or funding requirements, that is one. Two, higher debt in the book of the company. Higher debt in the book of company. So that is what will bring about soft rationing. It will also bring about hard rationing as well, because if the debt is high, there might be restriction in the indenture which prevent company from getting more loans, taking up certain activities. So the third one is any internal management restriction, that is courses. And last one, lack of human resources for undertaking all the projects. When there is not enough people to do the project, the management has to resort to capital rationing. Let's look at the capital rationing and unlimited fund. Capital rationing and unlimited fund. Now, a situation of capital rationing is a situation with fixed capital in hand and to choose the project based on the profitability. But under unlimited fund is a situation that is no capital, no cap on capital. That is, there is no cap, there is no, it's not fixed on the capital of funding available. Thus, undertake any project with suitable profitability. That is unlimited fund. If fund is unlimited, there is money to do any profitable project. So in that case, there is nothing like rationing. That's what I told you, that limited fund is part of the condition for capital rationing. And also, under capital rationing, you select the project based on the ranking by considering the rate of return on a fixed capital investment. So that is on that. There are some benefits that are applicable to the management when they undertake capital rationing. The first one is that any restriction on the use of available funds, in our case, money, will result in utilizing the resources in the best optimal manner. When there is not enough, you have to ration the one you have. And ration the one you have means that you use the little you have to get the best and maximum benefit. Second, is that the management or investor of the company will not invest in any project coming their way without getting into data analysis. And this ensures that there is no wastage or unnecessary use of free fund available. The next benefit is that by following the optimization process or optimization process, the investor will receive the highest or maximum return on their investment. Lastly, it may entail investing in only a few projects, which will help the management put in lesser effort and managing the affair of the project and yield better results. And also, the company investor will have funds available even after investing in the project, thus ensuring there is no cash crunch. So, those are the benefits that we can get from capital rationing. And when we are talking of unlimited or capital rationing, under unlimited capital rationing, under unlimited fund, you either accept the project or reject the project based on the required acceptance criterion. It's not because of money. That is on that. And the focus of unlimited fund is on generating at least minimum acceptable return. Any project that have positive net present value will be accepted under unlimited fund. So the investor utilize all the money and make investment under unlimited unlimited fund. But under rationing, there will be idle fund post apply capital rationing. There usually be idle fund after the capital rationing. In the sense that if the money now or money remaining after the best project has been selected is not enough to do anything, there will be idle cash. Meanwhile, these days, some company will enter money market and invest the idle money in the money market to generate more money. So there's nothing like idle cash these days. So with that, we have come to the end of this. Thanks for listening. If you have any issue, don't hesitate to call on us.